So everyone is somehow plugged in on the online, right? Internet. Information is available. I'm not sure what your views are. It has an impact because of amplification. You all know how what happens, right? You have one story. For example, let's talk about low-income families. You see somebody who is poor. You see a picture. You take the picture of the guy. You know, let's put an image, right? And this is a real image, and I'll describe you the story later. A paraplegic chap lying on the ground selling those handphone covers, cloth handphone covers. Quite poor thing, right? You take a picture, then you put a caption, you see? Another, Singaporean sacrifice on the altar of economic progress, neglect and everything. And it's very emotive, and I think many of us will respond to that. We get very angry. How can this happen in Singapore? But there are scenes like that. And I'll tell you that I saw this scene when I visited my mother-in-law in Tan Tock Seng Hospital. This chap was with crutches, but actually he was lying on the ground selling the handphones. So I went to talk to him. Well, what's his background? He lives in a 3-room flat with his mother, is fully paid up. His mother works in a coffee shop. They're not rich by all counts. He takes taxi there every day, to and fro, partly because it's easier to go on taxi rather than public transport because of his condition. And he finds actually it's easier for him to lie down rather than stand up and being propped on his crutches. His sister goes to China to buy this cloth stuff. It sells $10 one actually, so his profit margin is quite high. And I asked him, does he need help? He said, he's fine. He just needs me to tell NEA to stop bugging him about license and, and illegal hawking. But actually, he didn't need help. He was actually quite comfortable doing his own business. But if you didn't talk to him, you would think that, such a horrific situation. But that's amplification. When you showcase one example, you suddenly feel as if the whole situation, because we are, it catches our attention. So this has a lot of impact, I think not just in Singapore, but the world over, but something for you to think about because a lot of us do get swept along. And the challenge for government is trying to also understand what is public sentiment, what is real, what is not real. But again, when you look at amplification that some sites will put up and individuals may well be genuine stories, assuming it's genuine, not all stories are completely genuine, you feel again that there's a failure in the system. But if you take a step back and look at the overall situation, is it quite as bad as it seems? Not to say that those individuals shouldn't get help, but neither should we then broad brush and say that the entire system is broke.